my god, well, anywhere beneath 14th Street.
And the fun and the cultural element.
It's like this self-induced schizophrenia.
Well, I just thought you might not like what I've done and want to do something about it.
Sorry, I never know when I'm going to get in trouble.
This is WVFP.
WVFP, New York City. Welcome back to our little show here. We're going to do a segment about the alt-lit world, the alternative literature. It's basically what we call literature after undergrad, or after you get out of school. You're a writer, you're a young writer on the scene, in the magazines. You're an alt-lit. Yeah, we got some drama in the online alt-lit world. What does it have to do with our world? Well, you know, it's Hobart magazine. Do you know Hobart magazine in New York City? Some of the writers often that we feature here on the show on WVFP, they've published with Hobart. It's a popular alt-lit publication, and we'll be talking about Patio Press, another much smaller publication in the Hobart universe, I would say. We had a little censorship drama, where some tweets had to be taken down, and we're going to talk to you about a cast of characters there. There's Emily Sipiora. She's a writer, and, she was involved in the tweets there at Patio Press. And then there's Danielle Chelosky. She's an editor over at Hobart. That's Elaine Ellen's Hobart magazine. We're going to talk all about that. Got some other people in here. There's a writer named Nathaniel Duggan. Nathaniel Duggan wrote a book called Death Egg. You could go there on Amazon, take a look at that. He's published with Patio Press and in the Hobart universe there, and know some of those people. He's made a bunch of public statements. He put out a long rambling thing. We're going to dip into that and have him tell you some stuff about that, because why not? I'm going to have a writer tell you about some of the writer gossip instead of me, so we'll check in on what he's saying. And, you love some alt-lit drama. That's right, we don't just do visual artists here on the show, we do writers as well. Hold on a second. Before we get into all that, make sure you go to www.patreon.com/WVFP. You can check us out on YouTube or Apple. Maybe you're listening to this on Apple iTunes or Spotify. If you want to hear full episodes, please go to our Patreon at www.patreon.com/WVFP. Artists, interviews, and commentary. You've got me and Oliver. We do the regular guys go to galleries. Oh boy, it's hilarious. We also do some, scene reporting like this. You can go to our Apple or our Patreon and listen to other scene reports like the Ross Morgan scandal, Dime Square developer, goes down hard. You can check out many of the other things we have. The Ivy Vogue Mike Crumplar scandal. Remember that? That's over there. You can go listen to that. Okay, let's do the alt-lit drama. So here's what happened. Patio Press has a Twitter account, right? And they do a lot of jokey stuff on there. Patio Press, founded in 2018. They're a small, lit, alternative literature, alt-lit little publishing thing there. They're Indie Lit's backyard barbecue party. Patio Press. Well, they've got a Twitter, right? And they often do jokey stuff. And in accordance with that, they give different people control over their Twitter. They do a little internship kind of thing there, I guess. And one of the people that they gave the password to, and they did a little thing with, was Emily Sipiora. She's a writer. She's been in Spectra Poets. She's been in Show Review. She's author of the novel Superstar, forthcoming 2026. Well, that's a long time from now. And they had her do some tweets over there. Now, she says, part of the scandal is, she says she was having these tweets checked out and approved at the time. But nonetheless, Some tweets went out that people weren't very happy with. I think we'll have our buddy Nathaniel Duggan tell you a little bit about it first, and then we'll come back to it.
So Back Patio Press did a problematic tweet. The tweet, and I can't pull it up right now because if I pull it up, I'll exit out of my camera recording app. So I kind of have to go by memory here. But the tweet was something stupid like women artists use their boobs to sell their work, or something like, like women sell their work. Certain women sell their work. It was condemning certain women who sell their work via sex appeal. And it used the W word, the slur for prostitute in the tweet. So that was kind of controversial. So Danielle brought this to light. And there's been a lot of feedback, a lot of response.
Okay, so what happened was a tweet went out, okay? And that tweet was, there was a bunch of them, so don't get mad about it. But there was a bunch of them, and they're all doing deleted, and we don't really know what they all were. But one of them that people are getting angry about was say, "Congratulations to online whores everywhere." No, I'm just kidding. The tweet said, "Congratulations to online women everywhere for your published poem about being an aimless whore." Now, I know that there was a bunch of them out there. There was a bunch of them tweeted, but that's the one I think that made everybody pretty mad, including the editor over at Hobart magazine, Hobart Pulp. That's Elizabeth Ellen's magazine. We'll get to Elizabeth Ellen and who she is. Well, I mean, she runs the magazine over there. At any rate, the editor over there, Danielle Chelosky.
Danielle Chomsky.
I say your name. She was not happy, and she made a big stink about it. Now, there's a lot of people who said a bunch of stuff about it, but I think the kind of thing that's going on here is Danielle Chelosky is the highest kind of ranking person in the online lit community, in the alt lit community, who kind of, made us think about it. And you heard before Nathaniel saying that it was her that was complaining, right? So Back Patio did this tweet, and, she's saying aimless whore. She's kind of, obviously, Emily is poking fun at the subject matter that young women choose to write about or is written about right now.
The only reason girls sell their books is because of boobs.
And there's a little bit of a discussion going on there, but at any rate, Back Patio, I guess, felt like they had to delete those. So Back Patio put out a tweet that said, "Because of a string of misogynistic tweets, Back Patio has fired its first female intern." Meaning Emily, I guess. Now, this is kind of jokey, probably. Was she an official intern? She was just running the Twitter, whatever. But the point is that, Emily's relationship was severed with Back Patio, and the tweets had to be taken down. And the editor at Hobart made a big deal about it. And, what does that really mean? It's a little tempest in a teapot. It's just a little thing, right? But the reason we're talking about it is because the way a lot of people know about Hobart and Elizabeth Ellen in the first place is that she's been involved in some censorship kind of scandals in the past, and it brought her a lot of attention, right? Let's go back to Nathaniel Duggan. He's going to tell you a little bit. We're going to talk about censorship. Not just censorship, a cancellation, and kind of like, yelling misogynist and not really leaving room for a conversation. But let's listen to what Nathaniel Duggan has to say about the posting, getting in trouble for posting, and the history with Hobart there. Let's listen to that.
I'm a free speech advocate. I think we should be able to post anything. You know, I'm maybe selfish about this because I post anything, and I'm a drunk, and I've posted my inner thoughts immediately 1,000,000 times a day. But I don't know. I don't think we should be condemned for posting things. I think you can just post stuff, and even if it's wrong, it's fine. Because it's like Alex Perez posting on Hobart. He posted that one article which was like, the whole industry is biased against white men. And there's this giant disruption. People removed their pieces from Hobart. People condemned Hobart for being racist, misogynist, sexist. And it was just this, I don't want to insult Alex Perez too much, but it was like kind of this mediocre guy's point. Like, yeah, I don't know.
You know, so I guess the point is that Hobart came into a lot of people's minds as a place that was kind of fighting for the right to say what you wanted, despite, you know, what your political side was. So I think that there's a couple different things going on here, right? And the first one is the editor at Hobart magazine really angry about misogyny? Because that's really what she said in these other tweets. She's angry about the misogyny, the aimless whore part, you know, congratulations to women everywhere. You know, or does this have to do with a political thing, right? Is Danielle on one side of the political spectrum and Emily on the other? Is that really what's happening? So I think that's one of the unsaid things about this drama that probably needs to be talked about more. Is this really kind of like a soft canceling because of unspoken politics? And what I mean by that is Danielle, the Hobart editor, is she really calling out misogyny everywhere she sees it, right? Is she like, did she support Hobart during the Alex Perez thing? Is she, you know, does she support Hobart's, you know, when you have a position like you're the editor, you kind of don't go around and just stomp out conversation or stomp down Back Patio Press or a much smaller publication, kind of get an intern shuffled out the door. I don't know. I think there should be some more room for conversation being made when one girl's yelling misogynist at another girl. But that being said, I wonder, like, if this isn't just like a political thing and that there's actually a political vibe that's being prosecuted here. The other thing I want to talk about is the actual subject matter. Yeah, right? Like, she's talking, you know, it's probably, first of all, the tweet's probably a joke, right? But she's making a conversation here, which is like, she's saying here, like, look, I mean, personally, I think the unspoken thing here about the girls and the selling their work, you know, with sex and all this stuff, I mean, it's advertising, right? But, like, I think the question that's being not brought out here is, in alt-lit, in young people's lit, in youth writing, youth literature, online alt-lit, do you have to be an e-girl in order to be successful in this space now? Like, that's a good question, right? You kind of, like, really want to ask yourself, do you have to be an e-girl to sell books nowadays? That's the question, I think, that is at the heart of what, you know, Emily's criticism there is congratulations to all the e-girls. Is online lit, is alternative literature on the internet just a bunch of e-girls anyway? Is that what's going on?
The only reason girls sell their books is because of boobs.
I don't know. I think that's the conversation that's being avoided, is how much e-girling is the alternative lit world kind of leaning on the e-girling a little too much. And so, you know, I actually like all these people. This is like a small little thing. It's not a big deal. None of them would talk to me. None of them reached out for comment. We didn't talk to everybody about it. Nobody wants to talk to me. That's fine. But I think Back Patio should put the Back Patio's being very, I guess we'll just end it here. Back Patio's being very evasive. They came back on the internet after they were off for a couple of days or whatever, and they were like, hey, we don't know who erased the messages. Somebody did it. I didn't do it. Someone did it. Everyone had the password. I don't want to say, it was a bunch of bullshit. So I think Back Patio should have reinstated the tweets. And I think the Hobart editor should take her boot off everybody's throat. And, I think Emily should keep on trucking. And I think everybody should go check out Superstar by Emily Sipiora coming 2026. Go check out her, Twitter. Danielle Chelosky, author of Pre-Gaming Grief. Go over to Stereo Gum or Hobart Pulp and check out what they're doing. She's the editor at Hobart Pulp. The person we were taking those, he put a whole speech up online. Nathaniel Duggan, the author of Death Egg. Go check that out on Goodreads or at Amazon. You could buy it. You got Back Patio Press and Hobart Magazine. Elizabeth Ellen. Oh boy, we love Elizabeth Ellen. When we have to bring the tweets down, somebody's getting close to an issue. That's what I think. I think when you get close to something like that, at any rate, I don't think it's that offensive of a conversation to be asking around. WVFP. Check out our art reviews, our personality interviews, our scene reports, and all the other stuff we do in downtown Manhattan. That's Times Square, Chinatown, the East Village, Soho, the Lower East Side. Maybe I'll just jump into the East River. WVFP. New York City.